You replayed that conversation again tonight, the one from 3 days ago. You've already rewritten it in your head a dozen ways. None of them change what actually happened. And still, you can't put it down. Here's the strange part. You know it's not helping. You know the conversation is over. Some part of you keeps running it anyway, like a search that never returns results, over and over. Why would your own mind do this to you, on purpose, every single night? In the 1990s, psychologist Roy Baumeister reviewed decades of research. He landed on something simple. Bad is stronger than good. Not slightly stronger, consistently, measurably stronger. One harsh comment outweighs several kind ones. One mistake replays for hours. 10 wins fade by lunch. This wasn't a flaw in a few anxious people. It showed up almost everywhere researchers looked. Psychologists gave it a name: negativity bias. Your brain isn't weighing good and bad evenly. It's built to notice the bad first, remember it longer, revisit it more, on purpose. So why would evolution build a mind like that? Rewind past the research, past therapy language, past every book that's ever told you to just let it go. Rewind to a version of your mind that never once overthought a text message. For most of human history, missing a real threat could kill you. A rustle in the grass that turned out to be nothing cost you a moment of unease. A rustle in the grass that turned out to be a predator, and you ignored it, cost you everything. Your ancestors who survived long enough to have children weren't the calm ones. They were the ones who noticed danger fast, remembered it vividly, kept scanning long after it had passed. Evolutionary psychologists call this the smoke detector principle. A detector that goes off constantly, even for nothing, is still cheaper than one that stays silent during a real fire. False alarms cost you a little peace. Missed alarms cost you your life. So evolution turned your alarm up high, on purpose. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. That conversation you keep replaying isn't a malfunction. It's your ancient threat system doing exactly its job. Scanning a moment of social danger for information. Checking if you're safe. Checking if the group still accepts you. Checking, checking, checking. The problem was never that something's wrong with your mind. The problem is a system built to scan for predators in tall grass is now running on a text message that took too long to get a reply. Think about how strange that actually is. Your ancestors' threat system had one job: physical survival. A predator, a rival tribe, a cliff edge. Clear dangers with clear edges. Your threat system today has almost nothing like that to work with. So it improvises. It takes the exact same wiring built for a lion in the grass and points it at a coworker's tone of voice. A friend who didn't text back. A slightly awkward silence at dinner. The system doesn't know the difference. It was never built to. Psychologist Rick Hansen has a phrase for this. The brain is Velcro for bad experiences, Teflon for good ones. Bad moments stick, hook into memory, get replayed and reinforced. Good moments slide off almost as fast as they arrive. Not because you're pessimistic, because for nearly all of human history, dwelling on what went wrong kept you alive. And briefly enjoying what went right, biologically optional. Here's where it gets even stranger. Your threat system doesn't just flag danger. It goes looking for evidence to justify the alarm it already sounded. A slightly cold text becomes proof someone's upset with you. A missed call becomes proof something's wrong. One data point turns into an entire story, built almost entirely out of nothing. It's not lying to you exactly. It's doing its job too well. Once the alarm goes off, the mind starts hunting for reasons the alarm was right to go off. And it almost always finds something. Because nearly any small detail can be read as a threat if you're already looking for one. This is why overthinking rarely feels like overthinking while it's happening. It feels responsible. It feels like preparation. It feels like you're finally getting to the bottom of something. But you're not solving. You're looping. And there's a reason this particular kind of looping never seems to reach an ending. Ask yourself something. When was the last time overthinking a problem actually finished? Not distracted you, not exhausted you into stopping. Actually finished, with a real answer, and the alarm switching off for good. For most people, that almost never happens. Because most overthinking isn't aimed at a solvable problem. It's aimed at controlling the uncontrollable. What does she think of me? What if I said the wrong thing? What if it goes wrong tomorrow? There's no evidence that could ever fully answer those questions, so the alarm just keeps ringing, waiting for a certainty that was never going to arrive. But here's what almost nobody tells you, and it's the part that actually changes something. Psychologist Susan Nolan Huxama spent her career studying exactly this pattern. She found something that splits overthinking into two completely different things: useless rumination and useful reflection. The difference isn't how long you think about something. It's whether the thinking is vague or specific. Why did this happen to me? Why am I like this? Those questions have no answer, so the loop never closes. What exactly was said? What would I do differently? What's one thing I can control right now? Those questions have an answer, and the moment they're answered, the alarm can actually stand down. The system was never broken. It's just been asking the wrong question the whole time. Try this the next time it happens. Not tonight's version of the spiral, the next one. Catch yourself mid-loop and ask one simple thing. Is this happening right now? Not tomorrow, not what if. Right now, in this exact moment, is there an actual threat in front of you? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. There's no predator, no cliff edge. Just a story your mind is still writing, out of habit, using tools built for a world that hasn't existed in thousands of years. That doesn't mean the feeling isn't real. It means the danger isn't. And that gap, between what your body believes and what's actually true, is where all of this lives. So look at your own mind differently tonight. That conversation isn't proof something's wrong with you. It's an ancient, overtuned smoke detector, still scanning for danger in a world that mostly stopped needing it centuries ago. It never learned the difference between a predator in the grass and a message left on red. You don't need to silence it completely. You never could. You were never supposed to. That same restless, over-alert mind is the reason your ancestors made it through famines, ice ages, and predators you'll never have to face. You just need to give it a real question to answer, instead of the same unanswerable one on a loop every night. You replayed that conversation again tonight. Maybe you always will, a little. But now you know exactly why, and exactly what your mind has been quietly trying to protect you from the whole time.